I can't believe it's been 6 months since we've been locked down. When it first started, I thought maybe it would go until May 1. I've been amazed at the dedication and the resiliency of our team.
My biggest takeaway has been to admire the resilience of the human spirit from the pandemic, economic collapse, the calls for social justice, and a polarizing election environment. It really has been challenging times.
The biggest lesson is that we can respond very quickly to a really tough situation and still deliver for our clients. Most importantly is the power of flexibility. Our staff are faced with homeschooling, taking care of elderly parents, working with 3 roommates. By being flexible, we've seen incredible results.
I'd say the importance and significance of communications has not been more evident and visible and on display than in the last 6 months. The BLM movement, financial situation, communicating with the staff and in internal comms, with employees and wired and non-wired workforces, with stakeholders and investors and shareholders.
It's certainly been inspiring to see how our teams across agencies all around the world have supported each other, worked collaboratively, delivered great thinking, and helping clients navigate these challenging times.
We in communications work in so many different ways now, and you can't do things individually. Team became so important when we had people at all levels in really different family situations and needed to cover for each other. Some aspects of our team have actually gotten much better because everyone's on equal footing regardless of whether they are. Everyone looks like a box on a computer screen. The second really big lesson of the past 6 months of lockdown is about how important it is to be listening and to learn different ways of doing that. You know, most of us, when we're commuting, we have a radio on or a podcast. You read things as you're on a subway, as you're driving, you hear things. That makes us better at our jobs. You have to carve out deliberate time for reading the news and watching the news. How do you get that osmosis energy?
And never before has it been more important to align actions with promises and beliefs with outcomes. There's also, I feel, an expectation from society that companies treat their people with decency and respect and looking out for employees' physical and emotional health. This will all end well someday, this pandemic, but it's not going anywhere soon in the meantime. So we really do have to be all in this together.
So much of my time is spent commuting and traveling. And that was really, in some respects, downtime. As we all migrated to Teams and Zoom on a 24/7 basis, all of a sudden you needed a different level of discipline to block downtime.
I have an 18-month-old who was just about 13 months old right as we started quarantining. And so she's had a very different childhood than what I anticipated for her. I've been lucky enough that my husband has taken the bulk of the childcare responsibilities. My personal needs and my professional needs have often been very much in conflict. And I think that's it's been an incredible thing to negotiate.
I've always made a distinction between friends and colleagues, but I now know that colleagues are every bit as important and play a big, big part in my life. After all, we spend so much time together. At least we did until 6 months ago.
On a personal level, it's been a time where I've had the pleasure and the gift of spending time with my 2 grown boys and their girlfriends and their dogs, and of course my wife, all in quarantine together. Pickleball and kayaking and biking and walking when I otherwise would be commuting.
I think I've learned I don't have enough hobbies.
I was not a good cook. I'm still not a good cook. I think my steak Florentine has been a hit. I make a great burger. My barbecued brisket is good. Some of my other dishes, not so much. It's been really helpful to kind of focus on little things and get through the day.
Just getting out of the house and doing walking meetings outside of the computer has been good.
Take the dogs for a walk and listen to the daily, or spend time on the weekends with my 10-month-old grandson.
I've been doing a good bit of walking. Initially in a 2 kilometers radius of the house. I calculate I've walked about 2,000 kilometers or 1,250 miles since March. Now that's like walking from New York to Topeka in Kansas, or from Paris in France to Athens in Greece.
I think this has really been an evolutionary moment for PR and communications, less so because of the pandemic and more really because of the age in which we're living. We need to be truth tellers, respectful of science, data, and facts. And we need to ensure that we are helping others, including the media, to have the facts. What we do as communicators matters now more than ever.
If anything this has taught us is, and our clients, that they've got to be able to be digital and fast and more digital to compete. In many ways, it's been a once-in-a-lifetime time to really spur innovation.
I don't know if work from home's here to stay. It certainly will be more flexible. I certainly think there'll be a lot more of that in the future. I think people do miss the connection, visiting face-to-face with clients and colleagues.
In these sorts of challenging times, it's always reaffirming to see how companies rely so heavily on our counsel, whether it be in the boardroom or with marketing directors. I do think people will work from home a bit more than they used to, given this experience. I think we've shown how productive we can be. At the same time, I think people miss being together. So it's finding that right balance, like most things in life.
The pandemic has hastened a desire that was already present for greater flexibility of work and also work from home. That's here for good. A byproduct of what is happening is that we will see an acceleration of the speed at which PR firms will adopt AI and other technologies to provide data and insights.
All in all, I'm optimistic, but I'm also recognize that there's uncertainty. We don't know what the future holds, one day at a time.